Good evening, dear students. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Mr. Muhammad Khalid, and you are learning Pakistan Studies. It is week 6, lesson 6. Our today's discussion is about the Ayub Khan era, the decade of development from 1958 to 1969. In this video, we will learn about the life of General Muhammad Ayub Khan, his development of career, and finally how he became the president of Pakistan, and the reforms he brought to Pakistan in agriculture, industry, administration, social and society, and education. Dear students, in the week 5th, we learned about the problems Pakistan had to face in the first decade, and they were internal and the external problems. Internal problems that Pakistan had to undergo mainly were the financial issues, mismanagement, the settlement of the immigrants, deficiency of infrastructure, scarcity or the food shortage, agitation, provincial differences, and the disagreement of the politician, plus the assassination of the top politicians. And the external problems included the war with India, dispute over the different states like Kashmir, Rajputana, Junagadh, Manawada, and other boundary disputes, plus the financial issues with Indian government were the cardinal problems for the people of Pakistan, including the most important one, the lack of the constitution. Luckily, the dedicated leaders of Pakistan tackled all these issues, although most of them had to face the severe circumstances, but Pakistan, Alhamdulillah, survived. Today we are going to learn about the second decade. It is called the decade of the development in Pakistan. This lesson will give you insight about the three main important parts. Number one, the change of power from civil to military, that what circumstances happen that the military coup take place in Pakistan. Number two, we learn about the economic schemes and the relationship with the West. Okay. And the third thing is the political reforms and the development toward the constitution. The era of Ayub Khan is considered to be very landmarking, and to some historian it is quite controversial even, because they think that we had to pay a huge price of this prosperity in shape of the democratic rule. Okay, the wealth of the Pakistan was handed over, and somehow the influential people accumulated the most of the wealth and resources of Pakistan, and a new bourgeois or new class of the people emerged who later on ruled the different sections of the Pakistani society. Well, apart from all these confusions, these are the confusions, these are the statements, or these are the different points which are often raised and pointed out by the various scholars and researchers. We simply need to know in plain words what is the development and how these people contributed to our beloved country. Dear students, we will learn the following points in this discussion: early life and career of General Ayub Khan, economic plan, agriculture reforms, industrial reforms, social and educational reforms, infrastructure development, and the new capital, and strong foreign policy. The students now move to the earlier life of General Ayub Khan. Ayub Khan was born on May the 14th, 1907 in Rehana, a village in Haripur district, Hazara, then northwest frontier province, and today it is Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pakistan. He was the son of Mir Dad, a Risaldar, mean a non-commissioned officer in British Indian Army. Okay. He went to study at Aligarh Muslim University in Aligarh and accepted and decided to join Royal Military College at Sandhurst. Sandhurst is a military college, military academy established by the British. It is now in India. Development of the career. Okay. He joined Royal Military College Sandhurst as a trainee in 1926. Okay, he took the commission as a second lieutenant on 2nd of the February 1928 as in Punjab Regiment of the British Indian Army. After the necessary probation period, he was appointed regularly in British Indian Army on 10th of April 1929. He was promoted to the lieutenant on 2nd May 1930 and to the captain on 2nd of the February 1937. Now, another luck. During World War II, he was promoted to the temporary rank of Lieutenant Colonel in 1942. He was promoted as the rank of Major on 2nd of the February 1945. Okay, and the later year he also got a promotion as a temporary colonel. Okay, when Pakistan came into being in 1947, he was serving as the senior most officer in the British Army and opted to serve for Pakistan. In part of early 1948, he was given the command of the 14th Infantry Division, okay, which stationed in Dhaka, East Pakistan. Here it is different. Till here it is very important. But remember, students, the development of his career is also due to many other reasons. The reason one was that when Pakistan came into being and it was decided that now Pakistan is an independent country, whereas the chief commander of Pakistan Army was not a Muslim. It was General Douglas Gracie. Clear? And many officers in Pakistan Army wished that a local commander be appointed. Secondly, General Gracie was the one who refused the order of Qaeda Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah to move Pakistan army to save Kashmir, whereas Indian army took control. Maybe it was the Major General who did it. Fine. And later on, this pressure increased, and on 23rd of the January, a nationalist army or the local army officer chief was appointed. And here he, at that stage, firstly, Major General Iftikhar Khan, who took commission in 1929, was appointed as the first native commander-in-chief of the army, but he died in an airplane crash. Okay. Then, you know that at the time when Pakistan came into being, Pakistan required the armored personnel because most of the officers were left with India, and there were quite few officers who joined Pakistan, and Pakistan required a large army also. Therefore, all the officers were reconsidered. Second time they were called in service. It was the need of the time, and luckily the people were available. But the main wave came when the Defense Secretary Iskandar Mirza convinced Prime Minister Muhammad Ali Bogra to promote the junior most Major General Ayub Khan. On the insistence of Iskandar Mirza, he convinced Muhammad Ali Bogra to bypass the generals and promote Ayub Khan. In 1957, Iskandar Mirza was promoted to the President of Pakistan, and he promoted General Ayub Khan as a full general in 1958. And now, here starts the ironic situation that on midnight of 7 and 8 of the October 1958, President Mirza ordered a mass mobilization of Pakistan forces. On September the 7th and 8th, midnight of 7th and 8th October, okay, President Mirza, a civilian president, imposed military rule, martial law on Pakistan, and appointed General Ayub Khan as the martial law administrator to enforce the martial law on the entire country. But unfortunately, Iskandar Mirza became highly hated and unfavored among the people, among the departments and officials, and his performance appeared to be very dangerous. Thereby, President Mr. Ayub Khan, then Chief Martial Administrator, decided to take the power himself. Ayub Khan dispatched the military units on the midnight of 26th and 27th of October 1958 and arrested Iskandar Mirza, put him into a plane and sent him to England, exile forever. He died there. In 1960, he held a referendum. He introduced a referendum against the civil rule, and he got 95.6% votes according to whatever the claim were, and was selected as the President of Pakistan for the next 5 years. And the first step he took was the visit to the United States. That after he held the power, he visited United States. Start of the government. Now, how he started the government. Ayub Khan imposed martial law in October 1958. Martial law was imposed by the civilian, whereas Ayub Khan extended it, and then he got a referendum and became the president. And after the president, he did lots of things for Pakistan. Here starts the era of the development. When Ayub Khan came into power, the First World War had over, and the countries were looking to reconstruct and restructuring of the relations with the various nations globally. Okay, in those nations, West and especially the Americans were very strong countries who were looking for the good relations, and then they wanted to establish allies in the other part of the world to stable their own economic uh, relations and to expand the control over the others. US was also dreaming at that time to take hold on the world, and therefore Ayub Khan came to be a very good companion in this region. Okay, and the US needed strong army, military men to rule in geopolitically important allies, clear, so that the further American interests would come. Pakistan provided Americans with very good and magnanimous services in terms of the army and others. And if you look at this picture, you find that how General Ayub Khan is frank with the American president. Okay, economic policies. Ayub Khan took the advantage of his relations with the Americans and the Western world. Okay, ambitious programs of economic structuring of the political economy. Political economy mean he took the decisions to develop the country. For example, he settled the boundary disputes. He made the Indus Water Treaty. Okay, he developed the foreign policy. He asked the foreign investment infrastructure. Planning Commission was developed as a very powerful institution. The Planning Commission, a National Planning Commission, was developed at his time. President Secretariat and staffing. Clear. President Secretariat, the president was filled with economic brains, local and foreign people, talented people. President Ayub Khan collected the best economic brains from Harvard, from Europe, from local, and facilitated them. Okay. Ayub Khan also utilized the bright brains of the Pakistan civil bureaucracy. Clear? And they all together came up with very strong policies, and they later on gave excellent fruits. Most of the institutions created, like for the growth of the private sector, PIDC, PICIC, IDPB, okay, PICIC, and Pakistan. Clear? So different departments came for financing, loans, like the uh, agriculture bank. They were developed fine. This bank established in Islamabad was the great contribution of the Ayub Khan era. Okay, and he consisted the policies. Unfortunately, you know that later on we find that the in civil governments normally, and in the later eras we find that there is no consistency of development. Clear? But in his era there was a consistency. He improved the private sector, liberal subsidized credits, that the government provide the subsidy to all the industries and development sectors. Restrictions were applied on import. People would not allowed to import the goods from the other countries, because imports send the money of the country out. Tax and non-tax concessions. That tax culture was introduced, and the people who paid tax, they were facilitated in certain, and that was a really very common thing, that in the Western world, paying the tax is the primary duty, and by paying the tax, one becomes the citizen of the country. Foreign exchange control. The payment to the other countries, exchange of money, that was under the strong controlled. Overvalued currencies and differentiated exchange rate, exchange crowd clear. The currency rate, exchange rate, they were made controlled. And you know that in the current era, dollar is not being controlled. It is called the foreign exchange control, that our currency is being devalued. But at that time, Pakistan currency was highly valued. And you know that at the time, Pakistani currency was far more powerful than the Indian. Okay. He made lots of agriculture reforms. The mega reforms that Ayub Khan took, they were the agriculture reforms. Let's know the main points. He limited the land holdings. You know that in areas of Punjab and Sindh and Balochistan, especially in Punjab and Sindh, the Waderas hold a huge land. He limited that no family can hold any extra land than the land given by the government. He gave loans to the farmers to purchase seeds, machinery, to pay the labor. Okay. After the Indus Water Treaty, dams were built, okay, to enhance the agriculture. Let's have a deep look on the agricultural reforms by the Ayub Khan. Okay. Indus Basin Treaty. Clear, you know that India took the control of all the waters, all the rivers flowing to Pakistan, and a war happened. Later on, when the situation escalated to extreme, World Bank offered the moderation, okay, and with the help of World Bank, Pakistan and India came to an agreement, and it was decided that the water of the three upper rivers like Sindh, Chenab, and Jhelum, they are exclusively for Pakistan, whereas the other four rivers that flow into India, Ravi, Satluj, Beas, and others, they will remain in the control of the India. Clear? Ayub Khan limited holdings, that nobody can hold the long land. Okay. Okay. And he also said that no person should possess the land than 12.5 acres. Okay. And should not have the land more than 500 acres. Clear? And 500 acres, not less than 12.5 acres. 12.5 एकड़ से कम ना हो और 500 एकड़ से ज्यादा ना हो. Fine. In the canal water, whereas unirrigated areas, they can hold up to 1,000 acres. He provided loans for purchase of tractors, okay, pesticides, and others. Okay. He also gave subsidy to poor farmers who couldn't pay the loans. Dear students, we have learned that the first reform, agriculture reform. Because of this agriculture reforms, Pakistan became very favorite. Clear? The crops like wheat, like rice, cotton, okay, and they become the cash crops. Pakistan the market. Also at that time, Pakistan developed the textile industry in Pakistan, and Pakistan came to be a leading country in the textile industry. Hope you have learned all these points. Thank you very much.